The issue of fuel subsidy has been one of the hottest topics in the past few days. And this is understandable because this affects a majority of Nigeria. So in today's video, I am going to explain this important topic, subsidy, and how you can actually survive this subsidy removal regime. In 1970, President Olusegun Obasanjo introduced or signed the Price Control Act to cushion the effects of price fluctuation in the international market. And the essence of this is to find a kind of stability for the local market when it comes to price of our oil. And that is the reason why this subsidy was introduced in 1970 by President Olusegun Obasanjo. And since that 1970 to date, several successive governments have tried their efforts to find a way to remove the subsidy. In fact, there has also even be some kind of argument on whether the subsidy should stay or subsidy should go. I remember in 2012, there was a widespread protest when former President Goodluck Jonathan removed the fuel subsidy from 67 naira to 97 naira. He increased the price from 67 to 97 naira, and a lot of people protested. Organization in the civil service, Nigerian Labour Congress, civil society, even opposition parties also joined in this protest. And as a result of the pressure, the government of Goodluck Jonathan had to bow to that pressure and reverse the price back and continue to sustain the fuel subsidy. And when he left the price at 87 naira. And after he transferred to President Buhari, who said that he does not even know that subsidy exists. But under the same government, they were able to manage the same crisis, though they increased the price from that 87 naira to about 145 naira. And for the over 7 to 8 years, the government keep sustaining, paying for subsidy. And as a result of that, there has been a lot of outcry, particularly on the burden of maintaining this subsidy to our energy sector. I remember also when the World Bank said that the pressure on our fiscal and debt services is going out of hand because we are spending so much as a result of this fuel subsidy. In fact, the NLPC DG Yari said that the federal government is owing them 2 trillion naira as a result of payments for subsidy. And on a monthly basis, the NNPC subsidized through the government they paid 400 billion naira to subsidize oil to the country. So on 29 May 2023, during the inauguration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, where he said subsidy is gone, that caught a lot of us by surprise. It caught us by surprise because we never expected it to come too early, particularly on the inauguration day. But the president made us realize that there was no even provision for subsidy in the budget. So tactically, subsidy is gone. And normally the subsidy ought to start from the end of June, as advised by the World Bank, who said that if Nigeria did not remove subsidy by June 2023, then the country will be under intense fiscal and debt pressures. So I believe government must have responded to that call by World Bank to remove the subsidy from the budget. And now that the subsidy is gone, according to President Bola Tinubu, it means that a lot of queue resurfaced again at the initial time, but later the price that was around 197 naira for some filling station rose to 540 naira. And this is so huge for Nigerian citizen, because a lot of people are even struggling right now. I know, in my opinion, that subsidy is very important, particularly to maintain those Nigerian poor people that have always stayed below the poverty line, that have find it so difficult to be able to maintain their life. Because when once you give them that subsidy, it has a multiplier effect on the transportation, and it also assists them on some essential commodities. And now that the subsidy is gone, it means that we have to pay more. For example, a particular route that cost maybe previously 300 naira is now the transportation fare has risen to about 600 to 700 naira, if not even more than that. And that is why making this assertion, I read the article by Dr. Adebayo Adedeji, and in his review, he gave several reasons why subsidy should just go. Because if it doesn't go, then we'll continue to recycle and maintain the same level of inconsistency in our fiscal and debt policy. And one of the things that he argued about is that when we remove subsidy, we are able to have efficient economy, meaning that the law of demand and supply will be the thing that will drive the price. And it is based on the consumption and based on the demand for the fuel that we affect and bring about the prices of oil. So, second thing that he also mentioned is that he encouraged the government that if this, as they have removed this fuel subsidy, it will now help them to be able to at least eliminate the issue of corruption and mismanagement. We've seen a situation where policymakers and the subsidy management team have told the media that Nigerians consume about 70 million liters of oil on a daily basis. No one can actually verify that, but that is what we have to pay for. And the next thing is, this is going to open more business opportunity for domestic market and attract foreign one, according to Dr. Adebayo Adedeji. So these are some of the points he raised, that if we are able to at least ensure that we remove subsidy, we can also be able to use some of the savings from that subsidy into other infrastructure sector, to develop other infrastructure like the education sector, the healthcare, and social welfare, and other critical infrastructure that will stimulate the economy. So these are some of the things that Dr. Adedeji mentioned in his article. So while thinking about this, I later realized that, okay, maybe it could be something that we should just try to manage ourselves with for now. And due to that, I now continue to think that how can the Nigerians manage this situation? So I came up with some few points that we can we can implement in our respective houses. And one of the thing I introduced is that we need to ensure that we reduce our expenses. Maybe if we are buying something that are not necessary to us, that are not too important, now we have to be intentional on how much we spend on some particular items. Then the second thing to also manage or even survive this subsidy, the consequence of the subsidy removal, is to ensure that we minimize our traveling. Any movement that is not necessary, we don't need just to go. We have to be more proactive, and we just ensure that we don't travel unnecessarily, so that the issue of fuel subsidy, we can really manage such a thing. And these are some of the information that I believe. And also, we should also try to find a side hustle, because we need to make more money. And if you are going to make more money, it is time now for you to, buckle up and do one or two additional things to help you increase your savings and your income, particularly. And now that we have provided these few reasons or ways of managing the consequence of fuel subsidy removal, it is now left for the government to ensure that they provide palliative for the Nigerian people, and they have to ensure that they give us a good functional transportation system that can make people to even leave their car at home, just like what is obtainable overseas, where you see majority of the people take railway to their workplace and other forms of transportation. So government should ensure they do that. And also the issue of utilizing, avoiding wastages and utilizing the savings from the subsidy into other fiscal policy and providing enabling business environment for the citizen is critical at this moment. And I believe that if we are all able to do our part, the citizen and the government, Nigeria is going to be the one that will win at the end of the whole challenges or issue that we may be facing now. So these are some of the highlights and some of the insights from the issue of fuel subsidy. If you like this video, please kindly subscribe and share with your friends. Let us see how we can continue this conversation even after this video. Please do subscribe and continue to share the video. Thank you very much and see you next time.